Hey, Cashflow Contractors, welcome back to another episode. We've got a wonderful conversation with James Hatfield, an incredible guy and a serious entrepreneur that is really illuminating about how you can really improve how you interact with your customers all across the board. But you're probably going to walk away with a desire to check out LiveSwitch, his company. So we've got a book a demo link for LiveSwitch directly in the show notes. We'll also put it somewhere on the screen, maybe here if you're on YouTube and want to check it out. But I highly recommend going through their demo process and seeing all the ways that LiveSwitch can impact your business, from customer support to training your employees and just troubleshooting problems on the fly. I think it's a really valuable tool, and it's really not that expensive compared to the other solutions that are out there. So enjoy the episode. I think you're going to get a lot of great business tips and strategies, but you're going to learn about the really cool software that they've developed at LiveSwitch. So thanks.
I grew up in the age of when the first internet came, and it blew my mind. I got into different companies that, we got into technology and building tech and then building big business from nothing. We decided we wanted to make another big business. We found this company that specializes in web RTC, web real-time communication. It's only one of 4 companies in the whole world that do it. We knew we wanted something that was needed help and that we could come in and productize it. I met a guy in the moving industry, like moving boxes. Out of all industries I could have bumped into, and he's like, "You have no idea what you've got." And he was right. We have hundreds and hundreds of home service companies now using this for remote estimates and remote work all over the world. It goes every part of the nook and cranny of your business now that you have the right toolbox.
Expert advice, practical tips, real-life stories. Have less stress, more time, and more money in your business. Welcome to the Cashflow Contractor.
Martin, we've got a really fun guest on today talking about some new technology and some software that's going to be valuable to our audience. You were talking to your wife about it this morning. What was your conversation like with Diane?
Well, just talking about the ability to send a link to have somebody video something on the other end. I didn't get into all the storage and
Yeah.
the technology part because that's not my bailiwick. She said, "Why would I need that? I got FaceTime." I said, "Well, not everybody has FaceTime and not everybody has I just started thinking, wow, anyway, so it was not in depth, but it makes you stop and think, oh, I've already got video. And then you start
Yeah.
realizing, well, not really. Well, you do have video, but you don't have what we're talking about.
It kind of reminds me of, I'll talk about what it reminds me of in a little bit. Welcome to the podcast, James. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Looking forward to the
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So we're going to talk about your technology, but I want to just start with, you're an interesting guy. Like, you've been all over, you've done a lot. We've got business owners listening to the podcast. I want to hear about how you got into business.
Yeah. Well, I give all credit to my family. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? So my grandfather, his dad died really young, and he had a large family, and he had to drop out of high school to go work at a tire shop. And he supported his family. He became dad, at a young age, and that'll mature you pretty fast. And it'll make you look at your teenagers a little differently when they don't want to get off the couch and wash dishes, right? You're like, wait a second, my grandfather, and his dream for me was to paint the road, paint the highway. He's like, "James, I want you to open a company that will paint the roads." That was his big dream. And then my father, same kind of thing. Dad died young, self-made man, built his own house. He wanted me to be a plumber. And he's like, "Look, you need to have a solid profession, a Main Street profession that will take care of you and your family." And I did. The first thing I did was start a painting and power washing company. And I'm dating myself, but almost 3 decades ago. It's a long time. I look a lot. Somehow I've kept my baby face, but I'm not that young, thank goodness. But going door to door, knocking. We were talking about earlier, Martin, before copy machines were even around, right? And you're sending faxes and trying to get things, signed. But that's my roots. That's where my roots come from. I had a team, and we ran a power washing company, painting company, and I've seen it all, done it all, made lots of mistakes. But at the end of the day, I got I decided I wanted to get a college education. I thought that'd be important for our family going forward. So put myself through college while running a company, and then from there, got really interested in technology. I grew up in the age of when the first internet came, and it blew my mind. I mean, to hear the beep boop, and I'm
Yeah.
tapping something.
The modems.
I know, it was
Yeah.
like the fax machine got, you know, it graduated, you know? And ever since then, I'll pause there. I got into different companies that, we got into technology and building tech and then building big business from nothing. One of our
Mhm.
companies went from an incubator to Inc. 500 to a exit where the company is still around. It's a multi-billion dollar company that we created from nothing. So we love building
Wow.
big businesses, and we're doing it again in our current company. And we can talk.
And when you say we, who's we?
So I have a group of partners. My other partner, he was in the landscaping business. He had landscaping, and then he had laundromats, and same kind of thing. He got excited about technology. And the first place we went as business owners, we'd go to our accountants and bookkeepers, and I couldn't understand the income statement and balance sheet. I knew the accountant was talking, but I was like, I don't really know how to apply that. And I bet I'm not the only one. So we created a technology where you could put your income statement and balance sheet into it, and it would create a plain language report of how you're doing in your business and compare you to others in your industry. And how because
Wow.
and it created a repository of all of this private company data, which of course is impossible to get. They're not public companies. And that turned into a technology that we could help banks write loan software against. And now our software that we created is in every bank across the country. And that's what
Oh,
created
that's
that
amazing.
billion-dollar
Man.
company. And we sold the company because you get a little tired sometimes and got into
Yeah.
philanthropy. And we can talk about that too. But a little journey, from there, our philanthropy is called Inmates to Entrepreneurs, where we put
Mm.
thousands and thousands of currently and previously incarcerated men and women through our entrepreneurship programs because people don't like to hire people with a record, as you guys might know.
Yeah.
And so that's been very successful and led to an ABC television show called Free
Oh,
Enterprise. And we won a
wow.
bunch of awards. You can check it on ABC TV. My partner is a star of the show, and get a box of tissues because it is one of those that like those heartwarming, you know, people that were incarcerated and now run a business, a tile company or a painting company or you name it, all bakeries and all kinds, men and women. So, yeah, that's been a joy, but we wanted to get back into a for-profit, and that's where our story will go, and I'll talk about where I am in a little bit. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah.
Just real quickly, what did the college degree have to do with it? Did you get electrical engineering or MIS or
Well,
something
I
like
thought
that?
I wanted to be an engineer, at University of Michigan. And then I worked for an engineering company at Duke University for a little bit and decided that wasn't for me, putting AutoCAD drawings down of hospitals and, kinda it wasn't for me, and so I went and I was like, "I think I need to go general education and business because I've got a business mind." So I finished up my business degree, and I got a business
Okay.
degree. Mhm.
Love it. Man, it's so interesting. I know we have listeners that are previous inmates and just like you said, could not get a job. And so that's why they started their own company. And really cool to see the transformation that brings and the perseverance that they have. And just really cool that you're doing that. And you got it onto ABC. I love that. Quick ad break to tell you about Growth Kits. This is actually my company and you may have seen it around, but I started Growth Kits because I kept seeing contractors struggle with the same problems over and over again. They were trying to be better organized inside of their business, but kept drowning in the day-to-day operations. So whether you need a better CRM, a hiring process that actually works, or you just want to make sense of the tech stack inside of your business, we have systems that are built specifically for contractors. You can either grab our DIY guides and implement these systems yourself, or you can hire us to work with you on it and implement it for you. No massive consulting fees, no year-long commitments or monthly retainers. Just pick what you need right now and let's get it done together. Head over to growth-kits.com to see how we can help you construct your success one system at a time. That's growth-kits.com, or just click the link in the show notes. Now, back to the show. I'm curious, out of all the endeavors that you've done from, you had your power washing, you had your painting, and you had the software for the banks. Now you're in LiveSwitch, which we'll talk about in a moment. what are some of the common threads throughout your time as being an entrepreneur that you've kind of experienced? What are some of the lessons you've learned or the traits that you've had to have as a business owner that have helped you be successful?
I mean, as all entrepreneurs know, you wear a lot of hats, and sometimes
Yeah.
you feel ill-equipped in certain moments, especially as you scale a business or grow a business. And also, if you hire people, okay, now you're a manager, now you're a boss, now you're trying to make payroll and make sure people can feed their families, and the pressure that that gives, especially when you hand somebody a check and you don't get paid that month as the owner because you had some capex or something you had to spend money on, and then sometimes the employees aren't grateful. Right. But they don't know.
Sometimes.
It's like, and I don't wanna belittle anybody, but it's like having kids, like, sometimes I can't explain to my kids certain things, just like I can't explain to my team what this is, and that's okay. That's okay. That's part of being the mom and dad of the organization, right? So I would say some of the things is make sure you have a mastermind group. Right? So you're not
Ooh.
fighting the battle alone, right? Like who's on your board of directors? Maybe you even have a board of directors, but if you don't, where do you go to when you need help? And that comes in all kinds of forms. I found mastermind groups with other entrepreneurs of all different types. I found specific niches of mastermind groups that are running a similar business, and then my vendors. And it's amazing if as long as you know it's a good vendor. Some vendors just want your money and whatever, but some vendors are in front of so many uh, other of my competition that they can give me the what's working and what's not working. So building that network, I think, is probably one of the most important things as an entrepreneur, especially as you go through different stages of growth. Whether in the puberty stages of growth, whether you're in maturity, or whether you're ready to sell your business, which I know a lot of
Mm.
people as they come to enter. And how do you do those and how do you do those well? You need a good circle of friends.
Yeah. What would you say your strengths are as a business owner, like things that you really thrive in? Obviously, you're doing a lot of podcasts, so I think you're a great speaker and leader. But also, what are the things that you're like the first thing you go to hire because you don't want to be doing it or you can't do it as well as others?
Definitely legal. I can't stand the I's and T's of legal work. That's like the first thing I do to cover my backside. The bookkeeping, not my most fun thing. I want someone else to keep my books. And then, of course, HR, not my favorite. Hiring, I'll interview, but I want someone to go find top talent for me. Where I like to personally, this is me, and everyone's different. I
Yeah.
like to be in the operations, product, and sales. I want to be on the front lines with the customers. My customers have the answer to the test no matter what industry I've been in. They always know the answer. And if you talk to enough, I call them serious people, guys that know their data, know the industry, know what's going on. I can learn from them. And the best artists steal, right? So I spend my time finding the thought leaders in any given industry and learning from them and taking notes. And it's amazing how fast you can grow in your knowledge in such a short period of time when you surround yourself with high quality people. That's where I like to spend my time the most is with those
Mhm.
thought forward thinking. They're getting the job done and they're excellent in what they do. And you can tell, when someone's a
Yeah.
serious person. So that's what I like to do right now and any one of my businesses, frankly.
Yeah, I love that. So are you saying the serious people are serious customers, or are they the serious people that are already in the industry doing what you do?
Serious customers.
Serious customers.
Customers
Got it.
customers that
Love
are
it.
running their business in a way that is excellent, they're leading the way, and it's not always the biggest ones, it's not always the largest
Yeah.
ones, but you will know very quickly, especially if you get in front of enough people where you can take the meat, leave the bones. Everyone's a great person, I'm not saying
Yeah.
saying that, but I am saying there's some folks that really know the business so well, and they're willing to spend time with you, and, you need to be somebody that can make that connection. You've got to be able to give back as well, not just take.
Yeah.
But when you start meeting so many people, you actually have so much to give, even to a quote unquote serious person, and you
Yeah,
become
you're like that supplier you mentioned who's in front of so many people learning that. I'd
exactly.
like to point out too, and we talk about it all the time, but our listeners will recognize that the three things that you mentioned that you offload, HR and books and legal, are all administrative functions, right?
Yeah.
That's where everybody falls down. I mean, that's a theme that we talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I love that. I love spending more time with customers and serious people. And that definitely applies in a B2B setting for sure, but it also applies in the B2C if you're working residential construction. finding those great customers that are the ones that you want more of, spending time with them, understanding their pains, understanding how you can really add value to them. Really valuable. So almost like you're a great product manager, it sounds like.
Have to be.
I'd like
Yeah.
to understand maybe a little bit better. How did you settle on the products you were, did you have a good idea and say, let's go find a market? Or did you think you identified a market and said, a lot of people approach that one or the other ways.
Yeah. So one interesting thing is my great grandfather invented cable television. He was in the military. He was trying to send
There you go.
video because I got a lot of other side of my family's in war. I've got a lot of hillbillies too. My last name's Hatfield, so my great great uncle's Delaware Hatfield. So I'm a weird pot of gumbo from American culture. But what ended up happening is we decided we wanted to make another big business. So we hunted hundreds and hundreds of businesses, and since we exited a previous business did well, we were able to purchase another private company, and we do love technology as well. So we found this company that specializes in web RTC, web real-time communication. It's only one of 4 companies in the whole world that do it. And, we were naive in some ways. We knew we wanted something that was needed help and that we could come in and productize it. And so we bought the company 4 years ago, and I came in as product officer because the other side of my hat is building product. So I was with our engineering team and leading the engineering team. And these guys I knew they were speaking English to me, but I couldn't understand a word coming out of their mouth. I was like, this is insane. I've never seen something so difficult. And we didn't realize how hard this was. We really didn't. But again, you spend time with smart people, you take notes. I'm always taking notes. I got my pencil beside me, my Apple pencil, because of course I'm a tech nerd. And so what ended up happening while I was learning product is I got an opportunity to work with the chief of police in Washington, D.C. to reinvent the 911 phone call, because web real-time communication is live video, audio, and data anywhere point to point. And currently, when you make a 911 call, you are using an ancient technology called telephony, which is why the worst feature on your phone is the phone. Isn't that ironic?
Yeah.
It's really the worst feature. Like, can you hear me now? It's terrible. It's because it's very old technology. So what we wanted to do is create a point of redundancy. So when you make a 911 call, it's all audio, right? So I'm in Asheville, North Carolina, and we just experienced a major hurricane, and I saw stuff I don't want to have to see again. But when you're emotionally compromised, I'm not a first responder, I'm a citizen, and you're trying to explain what's going on over the phone, it's really hard. I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going on. There's someone in the river. The next layer is putting eyes on the situation. I want to show what I'm seeing because I can't explain it. As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, a video is worth 10,000. So now with our technology, when you place a 911 call, you get a text, you tap the text, and you point your camera from your smartphone at the emergency, and that live video feed goes to the police car so they can see what they're driving into. It's called situational awareness. And we ended up getting this across some universities. And what happened is I met a serious person, as I was saying earlier, because I was like, who else could use this simple tap a text and you're on live video? Well, I met a guy in the moving industry, like moving boxes, out of all industries I could have bumped into. And he's like, you have no idea what you've got. And this is back to where the customers know the answer to the test. He said, we can use that for remote estimates for my moving company so I don't have to drive out. I was like, how would you do that? What do you need? And so we started tuning it up. And he was one of our first customers that we sold directly to business. And he was right. We have hundreds and hundreds of home service companies now using this for remote estimates and remote work. And it is all over the world. He was excited, and we're growing like a weed. And we've been getting into more and more industries. I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but
Yeah.
I didn't expect us to be here. But my roots bring you back to your roots, right? Like, okay, buy a power washer for a power washer.
But they had a target market in mind when you bought them, right? You just didn't realize at all how big it was.
No, I had no idea.
And probably maybe still don't.
Oh,
right?
no.
I'm just thinking if you're on vacation in Finland, you can bid a moving job in Asheville.
You can. And my home service guys have virtual assistants in the Philippines bidding on all kinds of
So there
jobs
you go. Yeah.
at
Yeah.
any kind of hour.
Yeah.
And more come up. I mean, I was in front of a veterinary clinic this week, and they're going to use it in the clinic for, think about it, you got a bit large animals, like a horse. I'm not going to put my horse in my van, and trek it down to the vet. And if they got colic, you need to show that vet quick. So, I mean, it just keeps popping up over and over. The
Right.
construction industry, I got this guy who he's the third largest solar farm builder in the country, and they're out in the middle of nowhere. And we had to come up with something where he can have his team take videos when there's issues on site that they can show the project manager, and the project manager can sub other supers or the subs or the customer why their budget or timeline is being affected. And and there's more and more and more. So it's been exciting to see.
Quick ad break just to remind you that you can book a demo directly with LiveSwitch in the show notes. I think it's worth the demo and seeing how LiveSwitch can impact your business for your time with employees and customers and every way that you run your business. Go check it out. Book a demo now for LiveSwitch. Back to the episode. Well, I think that's one of the biggest applications. I was just, in prep for this, I was talking to a countertop contractor, and he has his guys go and do templates where they're measuring the kitchen space and, appliances and how far the cabinets come out, all these kinds of things, backsplash. And there's tricky circumstances, weird layouts that require just someone who's an expert. But you don't always have to send the expert out there. So what they do is they just jump on WhatsApp. But I want to hear from you what the problem is with that. What's the problem with jumping on FaceTime or WhatsApp with the employee, and why LiveSwitch is actually a better solution to that?
I have no problem with anybody jumping on WhatsApp or FaceTime. I think if that's what you got, you take the tools you got and you use the tools you got. When I have a hand screwdriver, I can do a lot with that. But when someone came around with a power drill, I was like, okay, now we're cooking, right? WhatsApp was never meant or built for remote assistance. It was meant and built for you to have a one-to-one conversation, for grandma to watch the kids blow out the candles, or you'd have a quick conversation, not as a remote assistance tool. And I can tell you exactly what we did differently. We did the exact opposite of what FaceTime and WhatsApp does. So if I am the top guy in countertops, as you were talking about, right? I'm the head countertop designer in an entire company. Instead of me having to drive around in my truck all day and spend all my time behind a windshield, which nobody likes to do, it's the least productive thing of your business day is sitting behind a car or truck. Okay. So now when this text link is sent out, there's no apps. We don't do apps. It slows everybody down. They tap it. So that's one big difference. There's no app, right? That's first difference. Second is when I connect, if I am at home base and I've got somebody on site, that person on site are my hands and feet and eyes. So when they hold up their phone, they might have I have big, thick glasses for people listening on this. Okay. So if I have to walk around, the size of a FaceTime or WhatsApp, when I see myself, is the size of a postage stamp. I can't see it. So we flipped it to where I see myself large if I'm the one on site, and then the expert is small. And they're hey, James, look up, look down, hold for a second. So that's the first piece. And then the guy back on base or in office is on a big screen TV, seeing this even as large as he has a monitor, and he's or she is saying, hey, pause for a second. I'm going to take a remote photo. Can't do that in WhatsApp. Everything gets recorded to the cloud. No scrolling through all the pictures of your kids and family to upload something to a Dropbox somewhere. Nobody likes to do that, right? So it'll just save in the cloud, allow me, the expert, to see, make that recommendation. Hey, guy, I understand you're trying to work around this sink. You're going to need a laser cut, blah, blah, blah. And then it'll drop in just fine, right? All the while, all of that recording goes into the cloud and can be shared for future training, right? Hey, we've already seen this before. Like we've logged that. Or it can be for other things, follow-up. The customer, you did the install, the customer is not happy with something. Rather than getting behind the wheel, they can see your face and you can, no, that's exactly how it's supposed to be, blah, blah, blah. Or yes, you're right, I'll send somebody out next week. Or a happy customer. What about a before and after? What about a video testimonial? It goes every part of nook and cranny of your business now that you have the right toolbox.
Yeah. I think something else that you think about, I totally agree with your sentiment. Use the tools that you have with you. If you're a team of one or two, use FaceTime and use WhatsApp, like you can make it work. I think as you start to get bigger, as you have more team members and more projects, once you have like that scale aspect to it, having a tool like this really changes the game. Because what if you try to call on FaceTime and they don't answer? Who's going to pick it up? Right? Oh, then you record the video, but then where do you send it? Do you just send it to that one person? But 5 people need access to it. The ability to use a tool like this and have it just go to the office where multiple people could check on it, multiple people could help you out. And then it's stored in a central location where everybody can see it, rather than you having to find the right person to send it to, or you send it to the group iMessage, but this person has an Android. There's just so many complications that come up, and having it stored in one place and having a central point that everybody could access really changes a lot. And I love that. So I want you to walk me through a little bit of how quick it is, because that's another problem with FaceTime. Like, what if it's breaking out and then you can't see and all that kind of stuff? How quick is it? You send a text and then what does it look like?
Yeah, and I'll talk about that in just 1 second. One point that I don't want it to be missed
Okay.
because it's subtle. When you're asking your team or yourself or your customer to use something like a FaceTime or WhatsApp, you're asking them to use their personal tools. You're
Yeah.
asking your staff member to use their personal. That's where my kids call. That's where my family calls and friends call. And now, like, I'm opening up that to random people like that. I get it because that's what's free. But also, by asking your customer to do that, what if they don't really jive or are intimidated by one of your staff members, or it's not the best situation? You're using social tools or things that in a business, and that's why we have business tools. Everything that we have here is password protected. Nothing is stored on customer device or on employee device in case they decide to quit, right? And the phone numbers and texts that are sent are not sent from personal numbers. There's different phone numbers that are burners. So meaning like if someone can't get back, like we're trying to set it up for safety as well as convenience. And back to your point of speed, all you have to do to connect to somebody is tap in their phone number. Okay, you tap in the phone number from your phone, a computer, a tablet. We don't do apps. We're device agnostic. And that text will be sent to whatever phone number you put in. That individual, all they do, we had to, again, back to simplicity. Everybody wants to talk about AI and all these great things. Those are fabulous. But to the average person, to the person who you need to connect with, who might not be a tech savvy individual at all, we have to make this as easy as answering a phone call or even easier. So when that text comes through, it's a simple, hey, let's connect. Tap the link. And it can be personal. It's like, hey, Martin, tap this text so you can connect with James. Okay. So I know who I'm connecting with. I tap the text. A browser pops up and it says, allow the camera. That's all it says. That's a Google and Apple safety feature to protect everybody. And if they're like, yep, I agree. Yes, you're connected and you're off to the races. And everything is tuned up for remote assistance, recording, sharing your screen if you need to walk through timelines, blueprints, and you're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
It has everything you just talked about. I've been to your website and I was mostly looking at you, but are all those things itemized somewhere? I'd sure like to have a list of them because I got people I want to talk to.
Oh yeah. It's all stored, itemized, tagged, for,
is it all on the website in a place I didn't see it?
Yeah. So it's all going to be on the website. And what we recommend is there's 2 things. You can go and get a free trial, 7 days, check it out, or meet with someone like myself or someone on my team. I back to running a business, I've got an entire sales team, but I love sitting on my own personal calls with potential prospects and customers because I'm always learning. So you might even get me.
Yeah.
And I will walk you through it and show you and let you touch. You got to touch it. It's one of those things like you got to touch it to be like,
on your distribution. Do you ever team up with what I'm going to call them resellers? Not really resellers, but you have, you're nodding. So that's whether I call them resellers or not, but people who are in the market have access. Okay.
Yep. We have resellers. In addition, we have something now, it's a geeky term. It's called an API that platforms are putting and bolting our stuff under the hood. So you can stay where you already are. You don't have to leave and go to another platform. It's not always the case in every situation. We're not bolted under the hood yet of everything. That's our goal and ambition, to where we will just pick a platform you're using already to do your live video and record it.
Will you explain that to Neanderthal like me? You mean like QuickBooks might have it? But
Yeah,
I can't
sure.
imagine why. But
Absolutely. Imagine,
is that what? Okay.
yeah,
And like all the project management softwares
exactly.
that
Yep.
we encounter. Okay.
Exactly right.
Quick ad break. If you're like most contractors I talk to, you're probably drowning in day-to-day operations. I see it time and time again. You're wearing too many hats and there's no way off of the hamster wheel. That's exactly why I put together a free guide. It's called 24 Things You Need to Hire the Perfect Assistant. Now, I put this guide together to help any small business owner delegate over 50% of their current workload and buy back 20 hours of their time. And you may think that's unrealistic, but the most successful contractors I know all have one thing in common: a full-time assistant who helps them run their business. And this guide walks you through everything you need to know about finding and training the perfect assistant, from creating clear expectations all the way to building out the right systems. It's not a fluffy PDF, it's really to the point, but it's still over 35 pages of actual practical steps that you can use right now. I've included templates, examples, and real processes that we use to help other contractors implement the right executive assistant. So the link for this guide is in the show notes. You can click it and download it. It'll be sent right to your email. Now, back to the episode. So I want to walk through some of the use cases, because it's not just around, well, I want to walk through a lot of the use cases for contractors. So I think one specific area would be marketing. So let's start there. I think this could be a really cool way to do user-generated content. A lot of people love it, like having like TikTok style videos of whatever, but it would be a really easy thing to just send it to a customer. Hey, can you just walk around and show me your remodeled kitchen and talk about it for a second?
Yep.
And then they generate that content. Now you can post that to your social really easily. What are any other marketing ones you've thought of or seen?
Oh, well, we've only talked about one thing that we do of 7. Okay. And we're probably not going to talk about all 7 today. But because we are a video company, or one of only 4 companies in the world that do what we do, we can take and do things that you haven't seen before, and very simply to apply to your business, talking about marketing. So let's say I have a website. Customers are going to a website and you've got a chatbot feature, because everybody's got a chatbot now, right? And you start chatting with the chatbot. Well, these chatbots can flag, or even chatting with one of your team can flag like, oh, I think I got a buyer here. Okay. So going by the data in every industry that we're in, and I'm very close to very serious people that track everything relentlessly. When a computer is chatting with somebody, it has a close rate of roughly 30%. When it's chatting with a live person, it's 33%. When it's calling on the phone, it's a 33% close rate. When you go on-site, in-person, face-to-face, that's a 60% close rate. Again, it's based on the talent of your sales team, but this is broad strokes, what we see across all industries. And then an instant live video where they can see your face or the face of your team member closes at 62%. So it's not that much more than on-site. Why it's a little bit higher? It's instant. So I can now, when I go to a website and I tap a button up and I flag, oh, this is a buying opportunity, up will pop a video, a live video, like you're on a Zoom call on your website, where that person shopping from home, because thanks to Amazon, we all shop at home now, right? No one goes to the mall anymore. But seeing a live face, now your customer, their camera doesn't instantly pop on. That's a safety feature for them. But your staff member, it'll have a virtual background with your brand, and they'll see, hey, looks like you're interested in purchasing a roof today, or, oh, looks like you'd like some work done in the kitchen, or I got some construction you want to do. That is your closing opportunity. That's where you can't afford to be 30%. You need to be 60% to get the money to close the business. And that's just going through the website, whether on the phone or on the computer. There's a tap, instant video. The second way is when your team is asleep. Now, you can get virtual assistants and have 24/7 coverage. Not everybody will do that, but is to have forms on your website. And everyone's familiar with a form. Hey, fill us out and we'll contact you. Well, the thing we've added to that process is a button to take a video. So as an example, with my moving company,
It's huge.
now someone can be at home at 7 p.m. at night when your team is sleeping on the couch or whatever they're doing. and they can click a button and record, hey, I'm moving, here's my house. And then your team can wake up in the morning, watch that video, call that customer back. And if they miss something, they can send the text like we were talking about earlier. I didn't see the basement. Or say, look, I've got your quote right here. Because what do you want as a customer? If your pipe is leaking in your house at 7 p.m. at night, you want to know, how fast can you get out here? How much is it going to cost me? And do you have enough 5-star reviews on Google where I trust you to do the job?
Yep.
Wait,
Yeah.
and that can happen just like that with live video and remote assistance. Because the old way of doing it, and I imagine a way that everyone does it now, leaky pipe, they go on the website, put the info, your team calls, or they call a 1-800 number that nobody answers, and you leave a message. Team member calls back, hey, got your message. I can send somebody out tomorrow, 3 days. Oh, we're booked up till next week. All the while, your pipe is just dripping away. If my pipe is dripping away and you say you can't come till next week, what am I doing as a customer? I'm calling the next.
Yeah, the next guy.
Because all you're doing in that point, you haven't even agreed to do the work. The customer hasn't said yes. You're just trying to give them a bid. So you got to cut out that windshield time. And customers, guess what? They don't want to wait at home and take a day off work for you to come by, and you got to fight traffic, and then you got to let them in the house, and then you got to get them with your award-winning personality. No, it's not your award-winning. Your personality matters. That's why you're going to see the video. But you as a contractor, I need to see the problem. I need to quote the person. I need to secure the business. Then I'm going to send out my tech. Age of Amazon. And this is the technology that will help you give a better customer experience. My customer's customer look over their glasses and say, why doesn't everybody do this? Well, there's a reason why everybody hasn't done it yet. And the chief of police did the same thing to me when we were reinventing the calls. Why haven't we done this yet, James? Why don't we already have these videos in place? We didn't have the infrastructure, and now we do. Mm-hmm. Everybody carries a smartphone in their pocket. I think they give you one when you're born now. Welcome to the world. Here's your smartphone, right? Now we utilize this. And I mean, not thanks to COVID, but COVID ushered the age of Zoom, where everybody's a little more comfortable. Video doesn't mean they love it, but now you can start to use it in practical, thoughtful, better customer experience, get the money, in this case, marketing quickly. I want to convert to cash fast.
No, those are great marketing examples, and people already have ways of kind of doing that. But I love that this is a central tool that you can not only use for the marketing, but then you can also use it for, well, let's talk about the other areas. So sales, we talked already about getting quotes and estimates, being able to see the entire scope of a project from a customer's video. But then you also have it on the service side where we're running into issues. Something's not right. We need to troubleshoot this. We can do it through video, through the same platform that we're using already for our video. It's like that central tool for video and photos with customers, with our techs, whatever it is. Man, really cool. So you said there were 7 areas. We've covered 3?
We've up to 3 now.
2?
I think we're up to 3.
Okay, 3.
Yep.
All right. So what are the other 4? I'm really interested.
Okay. So another one is you can take a tablet, like an iPad, right? So here's the problem. We send a tech out. You got a tech, they're great at whatever they do, making the kitchen countertops, digging holes, but they're not always great with customers and selling and upselling, right? You're asking your plumber to sell, upsell, fix this, do that. That is asking a lot of your team. So we coach and we recommend that you put the right people in the right seats on the bus. All right. So now when your tech shows up, do the work, you can hand that your tech, your plumber, let's pick on plumbers now. The plumber can hand the prospect and customer a tablet, and they hit the go button, and up pops somebody from your customer success team, your salesperson. And that salesperson is going to get the money and upsell. Oh, while we're on site, would you like are there any other problems our plumber needs to look at today? Would you like our membership program? Now you've got your salesperson sitting in the office or at home or wherever, taking those orders, upselling it, getting the money, while your plumber, all they want to do is fix the daggone pipe and do what they're good at, right? Now, every now and then you got a great tech who can do it all. And sure, let them do that, but not everyone has that. So you can use that tablet in this case as that customer success connection to the customer.
Yeah. No, that's great. I love that. Quick ad break to tell you a little bit about OpenPhone. If you're a contractor that has a single cell phone, you're probably inundated with text messages and phone calls, oftentimes that you can't be responsive to or that you can't answer at all. So what's the solution? You can buy another office line with Verizon or AT&T, and you can have an iPhone that is passed around from employee to employee, depending on who's on call. But what if there's a better way? What if there's a way that you can have all your phone calls recorded to go back and listen to later, transcribed with summaries so that you can get a quick glance at what happened during the phone call, and even connect it to your CRM where all your other customer information is? OpenPhone is the perfect solution because it does just that. You're able to add all the users you need to for whoever needs to have access to the lines for your company phone. And then you can also find all of the information you need at a glance with a centralized location for all phone calls and text messages with your customers. Whether it's for marketing, for sales, or for service, OpenPhone is the perfect solution for you and your team. If you're interested, we have an offer down the show notes from OpenPhone. Please click the link down the show notes, or you can see it here on your screen to be able to find more information about OpenPhone. Thanks for listening. Back to the episode. Okay. So we have it through the tablet.
Yep.
For customer support, being able to upsell as well. Next one.
QR codes on site and on site or during, after, using QR codes for your team and your customers. Okay. So if I'm on a build, right? Let's say I'm constructing a home or a commercial facility. I can put a QR code on site that anybody on site, a subcontractor, a super, staff, construction, whoever, if there's an issue that we need to document, scan the QR code on your phone, take the video, and even if you have terrible internet, this will work even with when they lose internet, like think working in a basement or in a remote area, it'll cache the video and then upload it to the cloud. Could be a safety thing that happens. It could be, we just hit a pipe. You know that's going to affect the timeline and budget. And that video goes to the cloud. And now your project manager can send that to the customer and say, hey, we're affected. Let's.
So it reverses
what I love,
who initiates the call.
Exactly.
I mean, it's
reverses, and you don't even need to have an agent on the other end. It's just
absolutely awesome.
Well, what's amazing about that too is you don't have to have an account for the subcontractor inside of your, Google Drive where you upload all your photos and videos or whatever it is. They just scan the QR code and they can submit a report.
That's it.
You've eliminated so much headache that people deal with, like, oh, well, we don't know how to get them on the platform or whatever it is. Just scan the QR code, record the video, done.
That's right.
And then it automatically associates it, I'm assuming, with that specific project.
Yes.
Like
you can, the QR code takes about 30 seconds to create, and you can make it location aware. This is the XYZ job. This is and that way, wherever it's scanned, it's all, where it came from. All right. Think about this for a customer membership program. I've been coaching a lot of our contractors on creating customer membership. I'm going to keep picking on plumbers. So let's say I'm a plumber. Let's say I'm Four Seasons Plumbing. I'm going to go and I'm going to sell you on our membership program that you pay for annually, whatever it is, $100, $200. That's recurring revenue, ladies and gentlemen. The best revenue in the whole world, where you get money, and what you're going to give them is a fridge magnet or a business card or the easy create. You go to Vistaprint and you have a QR code with Four Seasons Plumbing that person can scan whenever they want. Maybe they got a plumbing issue at 10 o'clock at night. They take the video, it goes to your inbox. Your team reviews it in the morning. Oh, thank you for being part of our membership program. I reviewed that. I'll send a tech out tomorrow. Not only getting recurring revenue from my membership program, that is creating a customer experience that says, I'm your plumber. They've literally put your thing on the fridge. It's literally sticky. Like, turn it into a heart sticker they can never rip off, right? But you can imagine there's my plumbing service, there's my HVAC service, and there's my veterinarian. I literally talk to vets. Like, you want to give that Amazon experience, and this is not, and you don't have to be Amazon. I got mom and pop companies doing this stuff. So what I'm talking about is not, oh my goodness. Like, I want to let everyone know this stuff is not hard. It's not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't even have to just do the fridge. Like if I'm the HVAC guy, I'm putting it on top of the furnace. I'm putting on the unit outside. Anything that's related to the HVAC, I'm putting it there. If I'm the plumber, I'm putting it on the inside cover of all the toilets. Of like that, not the small cover where
The
people lift it
tanks.
up and they see you, but on the tank lid.
Yep.
I'm putting it inside there. I'm putting on the disposal. I
Yeah.
mean, you
And
just gotta
you wanna
put
put
those
it
everywhere.
also on your trucks. Like, one some of my plumbers use
Yes.
this
Yeah.
to reduce shrinkage. They'll have their tech scan the QR code in the truck, walk around all the tools, take a video, and then go off. Because sometimes they'll lose stuff, misplace things, and it's helping reduce shrinkage. So, it's not just a frontal attack, marketing, sales, which it is, it's an operational piece too for
Yeah.
documentation, issues on site, for insurance, covering your butt situations, things like that. Like, our movers will do a pre-walk around video because when the customer says, "You scratched my mom's armoire," like, "No, I didn't. Here's the video right here. The scratch was already there." Because the last thing you
Yeah.
want is claims. Nobody wants
Right.
that.
Right.
So it's
Well, I think a lot of people are doing a lot of the things that we're mentioning, but again, it's not centralized
no,
and it's on someone's phone and they don't know where to find it. And it's just kind of a mess. And they're probably using some softwares for some of these things. Like I know Company Cam is a great one, but I think this is really great because it does way more than Company Cam and just that live video aspect is huge. So,
yeah. It's a full
really
platform,
interesting.
right? You're gonna put it on your
Yeah.
website, you're gonna put it on a tablet, you're gonna put it on a truck, you're gonna put it on a customer's thing, you're gonna have a text to connect. It's in the pockets of your team. If anyone needs to
Yeah.
instant record, they tap it. It's for customer testimonials. You're bringing video, live video, recorded video into your industry and team, and it can
As simply as possible.
exactly
Yeah.
right. It's
I
So,
love that you mentioned the technology is there. It's like Airbnb and Uber and all these things because we have this unused capacity. And I mean, that's an insight. I guess it's obvious. Wasn't obvious to me. Now everybody's got a phone. We can do it.
yeah,
Couldn't do
yeah.
it 15 years ago.
yep. And I mean,
Mhm.
having run a painting and power washing company, like I said, buy a power washer and painter for power washers and painters. Like, and same with my partner, like landscaping company. We were just able to take the tech and connect the dots on like how we would use it, in our day to day. And also talking with our hundreds and hundreds of customers all over the world, we're able to listen and up and build and add on to those bits and pieces. So it's always like we just had a huge update last night. We're always upgrading, adding different things and based on customer feedback. So it's been a joy. It really has been.
Yeah.
And
I think we're at 5. We have 2 more.
No, oh, we've got one more, right?
yeah, one more
One more?
because the
I
instant,
was-
the instant
I
pull out
was-
of your pocket, hit the record was number 6, and then the 7th one
Okay.
is pull out of your pocket and now add documents, photos, schedule time. So it's a repository for other pieces, not just recorded videos and live videos, but now just photos. Sometimes photos are all that are needed or documents. Just centralizing
Right.
everything.
So can we just run through all 7?
Yes, you got
I'll let you.
text to connect. That's the first one we talked
Right.
about. Text anyone point to point anywhere in the world. Instant recording in your pocket. Okay. We got the request a recording one that also has a QR code. So especially if it's after hours or they're just scanning that QR code, that's the video Dropbox. We got the take video and upload document piece. We've got the bell on the website to connect and live video for like the marketing piece.
Chat bots. Yeah.
Mhm. We've got the kiosk, the walking in, you hand the tablet, and then the last one is you can put a QR code that is a live video. We call it wall to call. So if someone wants to scan it and instantly connect with a live person in the call center, that can be good for all different kinds of reasons: safety, sales. We have a lot of property managers that use it on properties instead
Yeah.
of staffing someone in the entryway. Now there's just a QR code and they centralize their team with a QR code and it's location aware. Oh, you're standing outside of our Durham, North Carolina site or, fill in the blank site. So those are 7 ways.
Yeah. Love it. Man, very, very interesting. I think that this is a really valuable technology for people. And I think that most companies will have this feature, whether it's through going directly to LiveSwitch
Yeah.
or because the platforms that they currently use see the value of LiveSwitch and integrate it directly with their API. And now they're in Jobber, but they're using LiveSwitch to record their videos. So
That's right.
um,
That's right. I definitely
really
don't want to
cool,
come on
man.
here and do a big infomercial with you guys. That's not today's point. What we would like to
Well, but you've touched on
is to think.
You've touched on so many things.
Exactly.
Yeah, you touched on different ways to handle customer service. You've talked about how to handle sales better, how to, think about long-term recurring revenue with clients. We've covered a lot of things that using a product like yours, or even if you're not using your product,
Yep.
using a similar method to be a better marketer, be a better salesperson, be a better service provider for your customers, and improve the customer experience. So, really
And
valuable.
we are all about marketing, promotion, and sales. We're not doing it at anybody else's expense. I mean, that's why we're here, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So we'll put your contact information in the show notes, right?
Absolutely, we will. Absolutely, man. So, pretty easy to get started, right? What does it cost? How do we jump in?
Yeah. So you just go to liveswitch.com and all of our pricing is front and center. You do not need a decoder ring to figure out pricing with us. And it's all license based like Netflix. You just buy it for people that are going to use it inside your company. You don't need to buy it for everybody. And so just go to the website. It's right there. We have a couple products, and if, again, free trial. And if you need someone to help you walk through this, go ahead and book a demo there. And myself or one of my wonderful team members will take you through it. Don't worry. We're laid back guys. A lot of us have been previous business owners, so we're not going to strong arm you or anything. So easy to work with.
Man, love it. We'll put that in the show notes for everybody. James, you're an interesting guy. I love what you've done.
Fascinating.
Really enjoyed talking to you. Thanks for all you're doing to not just for construction, but the 911 stuff. Really great to see.
Yeah.
So,
my passion project is taking care of the schools. Unfortunately, here in the States, as you guys know, these school shootings are ridiculous. And so we've been actively putting these QR codes on site for our schools, because all the and we're not going to arm our teachers with AK-47s, but they've got their cell phone in their pocket and they can scan a QR code, and that video feed can go to emergency response to show where that shooter is.
Wow. That's a wonderful thing.
I can't even remember all the uses we've talked about, but if you have a serious person, would you be willing to talk to him if we referred him your way?
Absolutely. I'll talk to anybody that you'd like me to speak with. I love meeting new people.
Yeah.
Well, great.
Yeah,
well, James, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
You made it to the end of the episode, but before you go, if you found yourself thinking about growing your construction business while listening today, I want to share something with you. It's called our 24 Things to Hiring and Training the Perfect Executive Assistant for Your Construction Business. And it's a free guide that we've created. It's not theory. It's what we actually use to help contractors hire the perfect executive assistant. And really, we help you find ways to delegate over 50% of your current workload and get back 20 hours of your time every single week. You didn't start your construction business to just be doing admin work, to be buried in paperwork and endless admin tasks. This is the guide that shows you exactly how to find and train someone who can actually take all that weight off of your shoulders. So this is a real actionable, great PDF that has templates and processes. It's really, really great. And I want you to check it out, even just to get your feedback and how we can make it even more valuable. But I know that you're going to love it. The link is in the show notes. Please download it. We'd love to see how much of an impact it makes on you and your business. Thanks for listening to the full episode. Check out the guide. It's free. No reason to hesitate. No reason to wait. Download it now. And before you go, I just want to ask for your gracious subscription to our podcast. So if you have 2 seconds, it means the world to us. Just subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or if you'd like our weekly newsletter delivered to your inbox whenever we release an episode, please subscribe in the show notes. Every week, we're talking about real strategies on how you can grow and build a profitable construction business that runs without you, so you can have less stress, more time, and more money. Click subscribe wherever you listen to the show, and thank you again for checking out the Cashflow Contractor. See you on the next episode.